I want to show you guys a site that you can use to start investing with little to no transaction fees. It's called Computershares. Uh, I started using it in late 2013, early 2014. You can see I don't have too much invested through Computershares. I mostly focus on my individual brokerage accounts and stuff on Fidelity and my 401k as well. But Computershares is cool if you want to continually invest small sums of money, like $50 to $100, once or twice a month in companies that offer little to no commission fees based off of buying and selling their shares. So the companies that I've utilized this most for is Altria Group, Aqua America, Exxon, Philip Morris, some Verizon, as well as some Clorox. I used to have Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble has switched their direct share purchase plan provider from Computershares to Share Owner Online, which is an affiliate of Wells Fargo. But to get you started off, these are some of the companies that I invest in, but I kind of want to show you how you can get started. So first and foremost, you would go to Computershare, us.computershare.com, and you would then go to the Investor Center, and that will allow you to look at some of the companies that you can invest in. So you have your companies like Exxon, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, AT&T, some really well-renowned dividend companies that truly value their shareholders and truly care about distributing decent payouts to their shareholders. Now, I mentioned that you could pay little or no cost to invest in some of these. So you could, in your investor center, you could look for all the plans, which will show you things that might cost a little bit of money, some that'll cost zero, or you could look at something that has absolutely no purchase fees whatsoever. Or if you have a limited amount of budget to spend, you could look at something that is $0 or $1 to $250, because some of these companies, at a minimum, make you invest $500 initially, and then invest as little as $10 to $25. But the majority of them make you pay at least $50 for every transaction that you do. So let's go in and check out some of the no purchase fee options with Computershares. So some of the ones that I've used is for AbbVie, Aqua America, and I've also thought about initiating an American States Water Company as well, but I have not had the opportunity or thought of doing it. Callaway Golf, Carnival Corp, ConocoPhillips, EQT, Exxon. Exxon is one of the better ones, but like I said, you need a minimum of $250, or is it $250 to get started with Exxon? But well worth it in my opinion if you have $250 to throw around. Hess, Louisiana Pacific, Marathon Oil, Phillips 66, but you need $250 to get started there. Sotheby's, South State Corp, TK Corp, Bank of New York Mellon Corp, Union Pacific, WP Carey. Wow, that's a nice one. I might utilize that one if it's free. But anyway, so you would open up one of these, let's say WP Carey for instance, and it will tell you a little bit about what the minimum purchase price is for WP Carry. It's $500, and you can see WP Carry also minimum of $500 minimum ongoing investment. So if you're a larger investor, this wouldn't be too big of a deal. And then another thing is, since a lot of the times you are directly dealing with the company, and you're skipping out the middleman, you will pay a lot larger of a sell fee than if you were to just buy and sell on Fidelity or Vanguard or Charles Schwab or Scottrade accounts or something like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind is if you invest small amounts over time, you'll be paying a lot of your transaction fees at the very end rather than along the way. But generally speaking, I haven't seen anything above $25 for a sale fee. But generally speaking, if you buy and sell a decent amount and you continue to accumulate shares, this is probably one of the ways that you want to go. So now I kind of want to get into the actual. Let's take a look at Union Pacific Corp real quick. Yeah, so you need $250 to start in Union Pacific Corp, and a $50 minimum investment, which is great. You can invest up to $250,000 a year. If you're investing $250,000 a year through Computershares, give me a call. I'd like to be your friend. But otherwise, yeah, $25 to sell, and company pays for your dividend reinvestment. It's a really good opportunity, especially if you plan on continuing to buy and hold and only invest $50 to $100 a month. It's something that I would highly recommend, because then if you're investing in multiple companies through this, like Exxon, Union Pacific, WP Carry, you can invest, $750 and pay 0% transaction fee or $0 in transaction fees to get started. The only time you'd ever have to worry is if you have to sell, which you'll pay a larger sale fee. But if you're really just in it for the dividends, like I am, then it's not too big of a deal. So wanted to go through one of the largest holdings that I have, the one that I've been holding for a longer time. You can kind of see how the dividends can pick up over time. And so we will go through and look at Aqua America, which is one of my oldest holdings. I think I started Aqua America back in 2014 time frame. Sometimes it gets a little slow. Sometimes. You can see I already have a dividend coming through the pipeline, and it shows me at what price it bought it at. But let's go back to the very beginning. So started in June of 2014, and I think I was buying about $50 a month. You can see at the time it was about $25 a share. So every month or so, I was buying about another 2 shares up until I believe middle 2015. No, early 2016. Sporadically would buy more and more shares. But yeah, so you can see it got to the point where I accumulated just under 25 shares, and my first starting dividends was 0.04 shares per quarter. It got to the point where I was getting about 0.12 shares per quarter, 0.13 shares per quarter, 0.16, and yeah, it dipped down a little bit because the price eventually got up pretty high into the mid 30s, almost high 30s, and now it's retraced a little bit. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, if you just go into one of these detailed more specific detail options. While that's loading, I'll load up something else, something like Philip Morris, for instance. Philip Morris, I somehow created two accounts at Philip Morris. I don't know if I got over anxious and initiated two by accident. You can see one's, it's just over $2,000. One's for $1,300 and one's for another $800. But let's see. Yes, Aqua America transactions don't want to show up here, but it is what it is. Nope, no they did. Okay. So yeah, you can see that I got $4.65 in cost, and it actually allowed me to purchase somewhat at a discount to accumulate this many shares. So it's awesome. So that's one of the better ones. But looking at something like Philip Morris or Altria Group, they do charge a small price in order to invest with them. So it might only make sense for you to invest in larger amounts. I didn't, because based off my $50 to $100 investments, they would pay off within about 6 months or so if I was investing in $100 lots. So let's see if this one will go any quicker. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So Philip Morris, yeah, let's go back in time. Started initiating back in 2014 as well. I also believe in $50 lots, and through time, continued to acquire more and more shares. To the point where I got to the amount of shares that I have today, which I forget exactly how many shares I have, but it's getting to the point where I get about 0.13 shares per quarter in the one account and 0.06 shares in the other account. So close to about a fifth of a share per quarter, which isn't bad. So it's about $20 per quarter if you think about it, because the share price is approximately $100. But if you want to do a quick look, if the purchase will actually show up, I did a pretty decent size investment here. I think this is when it dipped down into the high 80s or low 90s a couple months ago for Philip Morris. And yeah, so I invested $500. And so you'll see the large bank, so essentially charged $5 because it was a direct purchase and it wasn't an ongoing investment. So you think about it that way, it's $5, but it could be more expensive at your local brokerage. So anyway, $500 investment, that easily, 5 shares, it pays $1.04 per share per quarter. So within a quarter, I already paid off the direct banking charge associated with this. But otherwise, if it's not such a large investment and you have ongoing investments, they charge you a small $2.50 fee. So that's something to keep in mind. So that's just a few of the investments that I have with Computershares. I think it's been very useful. Not necessarily saying that you need to get it, but it's something that you could keep in your repertoire. Like I said, I have a pretty decently sized portfolio, but only less than $9,000 of it, which is less than 10% of my portfolio, is actually in Computershares. So not necessarily saying it's something you need to get, but definitely something I would consider if you're looking for something to look into. And feel free to leave a comment or let me know, and I'll talk to you soon about it.